Hi there, this is Chris from Moto Legends, the chap in the cap, here today to talk to you about a pair of boots from Daytona, the German boot maker. They're called the AC Classics GTX. But before we get into the boots, let me tell you a little bit about Daytona. They make the world's best motorcycle boots. Very few people are going to deny that or disagree with that assertion. The boot company was set up by two brothers, Helmut and Reinhard Frey. In 1957, they opened their Bavarian factory. They are still very much involved in the day-to-day production of boots. And if you turn up at the factory, you might well find Helmut at one end using the pressing machine to press out bits of leather or bits of plastic. At the other end, you might find Reinhard sweeping the floor, just keeping things running smoothly. These guys are not empire builders. They do not want to produce motorcycle helmets, sell jackets, sell gloves, sell pants. Their aim was purely to make the world's best motorcycle boots, and we certainly think that they have succeeded in that. These boots, the AC Classics, bit of a departure for Daytona. They don't do brown. This is the first, other than their race boots, which they'll do in different coloured leathers. Haven't seen any boot from Daytona other than a black one in many, many a year. But what they recognised was a growth in the workwear boot arena, as it were. Lots of people who are riding trendy retro bikes, custom bikes, wearing jeans. They don't want to wear a full length or even a shorter Daytona traditional black leather boot. They want to wear something that looks a little bit more like a Timberland, a Dr. Martin, a Caterpillar, and so on. And clearly there are lots of boots on the market from all the major manufacturers that are very much in that style. Daytona wanted a little bit of that market. Typically they've not done it like other people. They don't copy other boots. And this boot, whilst it's going to look fine with jeans, is, we reckon, based pretty much on a walking boot rather than a workwear boot. Nothing wrong with that. They do look a little bit different to some of the other boots on the market. Maybe they look slightly less trendy, but I think the upside to this is it is based on a walking boot. If you ride in these boots, they're also going to be supremely comfortable to walk in. So let's go through the boot. I'll talk you through all the features and try to give you an understanding as to how they're made and why they are worth the money. A Daytona boot's always going to be more expensive, but I'll come back to the reasons why a little bit later. Daytona always use the best leathers. Their leather is normally hydrophobically treated. It's done in the tanning process to make it even more waterproof. The main waterproofing from a boot, even a Daytona boot, comes from the inner lining, which in this case, in fact in every case with Daytona, the waterproof membrane is from Gore-Tex. But if you have a leather that is waterproof treated, it means that the water can't soak in, so it means the membrane has to work less hard. It means that the leather will have soaked less water in. When it's raining, when it's cold, your foot will remain drier. This is a hydrophobically treated leather, but it's a nubuck leather, which is basically a brushing, a sanding of the leather to create this kind of a rougher surface. In terms of ease of entry, you have two mechanisms. You've got a zip here with a gusset. Now, that's not enough of a gusset to get your foot in without using the laces. So it's going to make life easier, but this is one of those boots where you definitely have to use the laces as well. What is going to make that a little bit easier is that at the top here, the top three eyelets are speed laces. So I reckon that if you can get into the habit of just loosening these when you take the boots off, most people will be able to tread into that or walk into that. Then it's going to be a matter of getting in and just pulling tight on the laces. That's going to tighten up pretty quickly, pretty speedily. In terms of protection, all of the things that one might expect on any Daytona boot. So a really hard toe cap. What Daytona do, they have hard sides, hard toe, but by the time you reach the gear change at a selector, it's fairly soft there, and that's because you want that feel on the gears. If you've got a hard protector here, as some boots have, you just can't feel that you're changing gear. So that doesn't mean there's any lack in protection there. In the place where you need it, these boots around the ends of the toes, the boots are very well protected. You've got a hard counter in the heel, so anything from behind, you're also pretty safe. Ankle protectors both sides. Again, typical of Daytona. It is a hard protector, but it's lined with an open cell foam, so you cannot feel it. You put these boots on, they're just going to feel like a normal walking boot without a protector in. That's the same across all Daytona boots. So you have protectors here on both sides, but when you wear them, you really cannot tell. The other aspect that makes these boots particularly safe, and sorry, I'm going to have to undo these again, is what you get in the sole of a Daytona boot. Now, what you're looking for in a boot is a sole that won't twist in an accident. So inside a Daytona boot, you will have a standard anatomically formed insert that can be changed if that gets a little bit kind of gnarly and sweaty. Inside the boot, you have a plastic insert that runs the whole length of the boot. Now that gives the boot a certain amount of rigidity, but within that, embedded within that, just underneath it, is a galvanized steel inlay. That makes this boot incredibly strong. In the front of this boot, there's no twist at all. That's important because if you have an accident, you don't want this twisting and causing problems to the foot. If something runs over the foot, if a car drives over it or something untoward happens, you want a boot that's incredibly strong. I don't think you'll find a boot that's stronger than this. In terms of the price of the boot, these boots are priced at $320. That is at the upper end. I say $320, that is right now at the end of December. We're recording this video. That's at the upper end of the boot spectrum. We have boots that are approaching that on price. The Roker Urban Racers are a similar price, but you will find that the sweet spot for short boots in the market is somewhere between 150 and 200 pounds. So without doubt, a Daytona boot, these boots, the AC Classics, are more expensive than your average short motorcycle boot. But we would contend that overall you get good value from a boot like this. First, you get the best of everything. You get the best leather, you get the extra protection, you've got a Gore-Tex membrane. Daytona don't cut corners in any respect on their boots. But one of the reasons that it's worth paying extra is that these boots are just frankly going to last longer, and they're going to last longer because Daytona will repair them pretty much forever. We have customers, not with these boots because these boots haven't been out that long, but customers who've had Road Stars and Travel Star Pros who have been riding them for 10, 15, 20 years. They just last and last. And what they do when they wear out, if the sole wears out, if they need a new gear change protector, new zip, new waterproof membrane, they bring the boots in, we send them off to Germany and they're repaired. Now, clearly there comes a point where if you're trying to do all of those, the sole, the gear change, the zip and the waterproof lining at the same time, it doesn't make sense from a commercial perspective. But if just the sole goes or just this goes, it's worth sending them back, repairing the boots. They're going to last a long, long while. So I would have no doubts in suggesting that your average Daytona boot, providing it's looked after, providing you keep it reasonably moist and the leather are nice and soft, they're going to last at least 10 years. So if you take the price of this boot, which is $320, divide that over the 10 years, £32 a year for a pair of boots of this quality, of this strength, of this level of impermeability, I think they're a bit of a bargain. In terms of the styling, that's up to you. They're not a classic Caterpillar, Dr. Martin or that style of boot, but I think they look fine with a pair of jeans, plus you've got the reassurance that these are Daytonas. If you'd like to read more about the boots in more detail, visit the website www.motolegends.com. If you would like to subscribe to our email bulletins, you can do that on the website. The front page of our website has lots of little squares, we call them tiles. There's one there for subscribing to email bulletins. We have new products into the building pretty much every day of the week throughout the year. When a new product comes out, we send out a bulletin either there and then or later in the week. So if you want to be kept informed about what's new, what's going on, what's exciting in the world of motorcycling apparel, visit the website and subscribe. If, however, you prefer to get your information videographically, we would love you to subscribe to our email, not to our email, to our YouTube channel, and you can do that on the subscribe button below. If you want to go and look at the boots now, top right hand corner, if you click there you can go direct to the boots, read the spec, and if you want, even buy a pair. Anyway, this has been Chris at Motor Legends. These are the Daytona AC Classics. We hope you've enjoyed our review. We look forward to talking to you again soon.